what happens after the grocery haul. So we are in week 7. Do you remember that TV ad? Channel 7. Anyway, weird things. And I'm filming this first thing Monday morning, so I will show you what happened after the haul, and then how our week went with food, and how we're navigating through no required shopping spends and pretty much no grocery store for the week. So it's Sunday evening and I have the video up if you'd like to go and check it out, because we go through the whole process of what's in the fridge and what we need to buy and how it all works. And we're now starting to put everything away. I had grand plans of filming this as a bit of a fridge reset, because as you can see there's a lot of stuff in here that I probably should have dealt with. Just make sure I hydrate first. It's a big job. This is also how I procrastinate. I'll just sit there and drink water, which is good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I started pulling a couple of things out and trying to move them around and try and figure out what's where and how, because I need some space for some things to go. So first up, I'm going to grab the saucepan that's in here. I don't know why I just kept looking at it, moving stuff in front of it. I hard boiled some eggs and I just keep putting saucepan in the fridge. So for now, we're just going to stick them in the drawer. They'll come back later, which is good. And moving some things around, as I said, to make some space, because I need some pizza things to go in there. I just made some pizzas that you would have also seen in the last meals video, and putting things visually so people can see them, because our family is a seafood and eat it. So if it's right in front of them, they'll gravitate towards that, which is better than having cookies. Here is when I'm having a moment of I don't know what to do. There's too much stuff to be done, that's the thing, and I want to not be perfect, but I feel like I want to sort of systematically do it, and I struggle with it. So that's where executive dysfunction comes in, that I think, how do I line all my ducks up in a row? So I do eventually put the rest of the stuff away. The pantry things that I had there, I ended up putting in a shopping bag to the side, because I wanted to see if I could like hold it over and see how long that would take. But that also is now creating some other mess and space in the house. So I might just put it in the pantry and then say, hey, we have pantry stuff. Because I was curious to know how long things would last. But I think I'm just past that. I don't really care. So in an effort to make space, it's also about juggling around all the containers. Because I need see-through containers. So as I said, my family is seafood and eat it. So I did, on the live, made the Anzac cookies. Thank you to those that watched that. And then we'd made some cupcakes, so I put them all into one container, and now this container I can put all the pre-cooked pizzas in there for people to eat during the week for their lunches. So mini success now, having those pizzas in easy convenient access. I probably should have put the watermelon that's in the other container in a smaller container, but I couldn't be bothered. And so now we are going to shove, that is the correct terminology, anything that needs to go in the fridge, find a hole somewhere, because I'm too tired, which you'll see me signal in a minute. It's super late. This is all we have left on the bench, and I've now shut down for the evening, so the rest is a tomorrow job because I cannot be bothered. Hello, happy Monday evening. It's 37 degrees today. I've been out of the house most of today. Mum had a couple of appointments and things, so I've only recently got back. So I'm trying to organise dinner. Aircon's on, it's still sweaty. So I've put the oven on to cook some chips. The kitchen's not too bad, but it's the rest of the house. So fed is best. We need to cook dinner, and yeah. But hubby and I, we're going to have one of our Audi meals, because I need to get that on the go. And then when it's a bit later tonight, I'll cook the other ones, and then they just need a bit of a reheat during the week. It's not as hot during the week, but we're busy again. So let's get on it. I think I'll do some arancini bowls for the children, because that recently went into the freezer, and if it comes out, we've got space for other things. So you know what the fridge looks like. I think I probably showed you in the previous video, a bit of a hot mess. But now we have an added addition. My mum won the meat tray at bingo on Friday, so now I need to figure out how to deal with this. So I really do need to cook the rest of the Aldi things so we can figure about reheating and using this. I don't want to just freeze it, like I'd like to cook it because it's a bit easy to cook when things are raw. Okay. Super grateful, but it's always like there's another roadblock. So I did the arancini balls from Costco with chips and veg for the children, and hubby and I are having our first Aldi pasta dish. And I remembered that I had this little bit of cream in the fridge, so I just threw that in there. I haven't included it in the Aldi video, which we'll see coming up, but I thought we'll just include it as well as all the pasta that I dropped on the stove. I am not a clean cook, I'm a messy cook, but you know what? Fed is best. I will upload the Aldi video separately because I'm going through and showing you how I cooked these meals and a couple of tips and tricks that I would have really liked to have known. I used this little bit of leftover milk that we had to make my smoothie for the day. Okay. These are the hard-boiled eggs from the other day. I just stuck them in there because I had a whole saucepan in there. I wasn't sure what to do. And I've eaten most of the watermelon. Probably put it into a smaller container. I need to wash the grapes and deal with the meat, but also I finished the rock melon that was in this container that was right at the back of the fridge. And then I just put some watermelon in there because I was too lazy to get a clean bowl. So, weird fruit salad. So one less thing in the fridge. Now, let's attempt to peel these eggs. Okay, so someone asked me for some tips about peeling eggs, and my best answer is prayer. Because look, see that? It's already tearing. There's this lady on TikTok that she has this little thing. It's a raw egg, and she's just sitting there going like this, cracking off the shell. And she's like, oh, that was a big piece, because this little bit underneath, whatever it is still holding all the shell together. So the best tips that I have found for peeling an egg, the fresher they are, the easier they are. After you cook them and you plunge them into cold water, peel them as soon as you can because it releases a bit easier. Also, sometimes doing it under running water will help. I'll still run that under running water because sometimes there's little bits of eggs. And Rhiannon told me to get a teaspoon. I don't understand it. She sent me a video. I've watched it twice. And, oh, there we go. I think it depends on the egg, because the last egg that I tried, and I'll see if I can put up a picture, I desecrated the whole egg. I was like that, so I have no tips except pray. So making lunch. Why are eggs so slippery? Slippery little suckers. Okay, if anyone has a good idea how to make eggs. Curry, no, it's not curry eggs. I don't have curry eggs. Egg and salad sandwich. No, good enough. Good enough. I'll scrape the rest out later. This is also my wrap today, half torn. the end of the packet was left open and it's dry. So also, I'm going to cut this open. Someone said to me, I said the other day, there's 8 pieces in every one of these. And someone said to me they only have 7. So now I'm panicked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 pieces in it. I'm not doing a live, I'm just doing a video.
It's the egg sacred.
6, 7, 8. There's 8. I can't count.
Is the egg sacred? You said desecrate.
Did I say desecrate the egg?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the egg sacred or something.
I'll put that away in a second. Oh, my cheese. Where's my cheese? Oh, I can't get the cheese. This is the thing I don't like about Costco cheese. It's a bit stuck together. Okay. Oh, I don't think I've made this very well. Bon appetit! Happy Tuesday afternoon. We're just getting ready to do some dinner prep to help clean out the fridge and to finish off the Audi thing. Oh, everything's taking me forever. I had so many emails and admin things to do today. Last night, children helped me make some space in the freezer. There's hardly any in there. Some people snuck some bits and then shoved the container in there. So when I was sorting some things out, I was like, hang on a second. So that was funny. And yeah, we're getting there. So we'll get some dinner. Get on with the day. So I thought I'd attempt to make some Panko crumbs because we don't have any and I don't want to buy any. And I've been Googling how to do it. Oh my gosh. So I have this Mix Master and this blade is very thin holes for grating because the big one I had snapped at the base. We also have lost the blade that goes inside it that mixes around when I make cheesecake. I am Devo. I can't find it anywhere. I think I've accidentally thrown it in the bin because I was throwing all my scraps into a little bowl on the side when I was doing my live and when I made the cheesecake, and I'm pretty sure the blade got in there and I dumped the whole thing in the bin. So I'm gonna have to look online to see if I can get a new one because I don't want to get a new Mix Master, but if I can just get a replacement blade, I think that will work well. So all it said to do was get a white loaf of bread that's crusty and put it through a grater, and you get some like chunks slash thing of bread. I don't know. I've tried making breadcrumbs before, and what I did, because I had no idea, I didn't Google. I actually toasted the pieces of bread and then I tried to grate it and I just ended up with powder. And then apparently like Panko crumbs are because it's made from a white crusty loaf of bread and the crumbs are like bigger. It's not fine breadcrumbs. They're like coarse breadcrumbs. So we shall see. So I got all these and then I laid it on a tray and then I baked in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. And you can move the tray around, especially if your oven gets a bit hot. Now the breadcrumbs still feel very soft, and even after baking for 8 to 10 minutes, they still felt soft, if that made sense. But once I left them out to cool on the bench for another 10 minutes or so, they hardened up and they're nice and crunchy. So that was really good because I need the Panko crumbs to do crumbing of the chicken for the Audi challenge. But also if these work well enough, I figured I was able to then have them for, you know, a homemade thing rather than having to buy them. So dinner is here. My daughter's having a leftover quiche with the chips, and I forgot to turn the stove on for her vegetables, so she had them after. And then hubby and I had the Panko chicken with some fried rice on the side because I was filming for the Audi challenge. After I set that shot up ever so beautifully, I put the fried rice into a container, keeping it real around here, and my son will eat that during the week, and then we put the chicken back in the fridge, and we had that later on with some chips. I was filming to set up for how you could create meals with the things that we had. So I was trying to be very versatile with what I had in the video. And because it's too hard to explain to people that we are a family with sensory and texture needs, the internet just doesn't care. So I just kept it very simple. So just a quick tour of our fridge to show you that it's still a bit of a hot mess. We've got some chicken that's here ready to be grated up, and also chicken in the container that was from my mum's meat tray that I also cooked up so I can deal with. Thursday for lunch I had the leftover pasta because I figured it was easier to grab that than make a sandwich to go to bingo. And then in the evening I did the chicken plant-based for my daughter. I forgot to turn it into a parmigiana, and then hubby and I have had that chicken back again with the chips. And then the next night my daughter's had again leftover quiche, my son's had his dino nuggets, and then hubby and I have had shepherd's pie that we did for the Audi challenge. Of course, Friday afternoon I did the live, so I made chocolate brownies and an apple pie, and I did jelly, it's a favourite. And then Saturday my friend come through with some bakery goodies. We've got this big, is it a ciabatta loaf? I don't know. So I've got the champagne ham from that haul, so I cut the loaf in half and turned half into ham, cheese and pineapple, and this disappears so fast in our house, let me tell you. And the rest of the leftover spinach I'm going to make a half pizza base for my daughter, because we've still got mushrooms as well, and I used some pineapple because when I went to get the ricotta cheese out, it was moldy. So I've lost 74 cents. It's rare that I ever lose to food, but here we are. So I had grand plans for that, but alas, it is no. And then in the fridge, I have hidden there a meat tray that I won from bingo on Thursday. I forgot to tell you when I got it, so I just shoved it in there. So I have to deal with that during the week. And I did a little markdown haul. So I got a lettuce because we needed one. I got rock melon because it was marked down. I got some grapes that Mum and I mostly ate at bingo. That was so nice as well. It's so nice to sit there and eat grapes rather than lollies, even though lollies are nice. And then 2 packets of chicken twisties because they were marked down as well. Really good price. As I said, I have no Coles or Woolworths offers, so I'm avoiding those stores right now, but I'm always going to pick up something if it's a markdown, especially if it's fruit or veg like that, that helps. So I spent a whole $9.14 for the week. And then Saturday afternoon, I had the bread run. So I got 2 loaves of these bread. This first bread is like a little lunch roll thing, which we accidentally opened instead of these big packet ones. It was funny, not funny. And I also got given some pizza bases. They're here. These ones are here, but there's also some ones in the fridge as well. Don't ask. By the end of the week, everything is starting to unravel. So I've got the patties from the meat tray that are here. I cooked the bacon as well. And we've got the build your own burger bar as per usual. Happy Sunday afternoon, everyone. Working on dinner, and we're using up from leftover Audi stuff. We've got leftovers, we've got other bits and pieces. So we're gonna figure out a plan and attempt to put it all together. It was only 32 today, but it's really muggy. But the kitchen's okay. So we've got just this left of potatoes, so I will make those into chips. I will get the chicken Kievs left over from the Audi for hubby and I, and then I will get the arancini balls out for the children and do veggies as well, and then that kind of clears that out. I think we'll then have one more meal for the arancini balls, but that's okay. And then we still have for during the week, next week video, the shepherd's pie, chow mein, which I've realized that I'm going to do like a potato bake thing with it. And then we will be able to start on the freezer. We got an offer from Coles. First, I got an offer for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If I spent $60 or more, I'd get 2,000 points. I ignored it, crossing my fingers, hoping that it would reappear on Saturday, which it did. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, spend $60 or more for 2,005 ice points. Need to get iced coffee anyway, but I'm probably going to hold out to Monday, if not Tuesday, to stretch it out. And we'll probably share about that in the next video, because we'll make a grocery plan together and go from there. And at the end of the week, this is what our fridge looks like, which is Hot Mess Express. I'm forever sticking pans in my fridge. All will be revealed. There's the extra pizza bases I was telling you about, and some random other bits and pieces that my mum's given me as well, and things we need to deal with. So that's what that is. This is first thing Monday morning that I'm filming this. We've just run out of milk, so the UHT milk has gone in there for my splash of coffee, and we are nearly out of iced coffee. So we have done well for the week of no shopping, because we've had all that Aldi stuff and we've had other bits and pieces. And I was going to do a reset last night, but I just couldn't be bothered. And so that's what the next video will be about, clearing this out, setting it up and getting ready for the week. So thank you so much for joining me this week with no shopping. I think we've done really well. It's very overwhelming sometimes having to deal with so much stuff. And this week we've had a lot of appointments and other things that I hadn't planned on, but we still get there. And we share because we like to not feel so alone that we're slowly losing the plot. So thank you so much for joining with me. I so appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.